In this video, I will be demonstrating the inheritance of magic powers in Disney's Frozen and Disney's Tangled. I will be following a fan conspiracy theory that Elsa from Frozen and Rapunzel from Tangled are cousins. In order for them to be cousins, one of each of their parents must be related to each other. In this conspiracy, Elsa's father, King Agnarr, is siblings with Rapunzel's mother, Queen Iduna. In Frozen 2, King Agnar's parents are confirmed to be King Ruinard and Queen Rita, which, to be consistent with the theory, would be Queen Iduna's parents as well. I've drawn out this relationship in the form of a pedigree chart, and I will be discussing which modes of inheritance are consistent with the inheritance in the chart. The modes of inheritance I will be discussing include autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive, X-linked dominant, X-linked recessive, and Y-linked. The first and only mode of inheritance that is consistent with the chart in this scenario is autosomal recessive. With autosomal recessive inheritance, each person who shows the trait would have the homozygous recessive genotype. Every person who does not show the trait would either be homozygous dominant or heterozygous. For it to be possible for Elsa and Rapunzel to inherit two recessive copies of the allele, every person who does not show the trait would have to be heterozygous. In this scenario, this is possible. The first mode of inheritance that is inconsistent with this chart is autosomal dominant. To demonstrate how this is not possible, we are going to focus on Rapunzel. For Rapunzel to have magic powers, she would have to have at least one copy of the dominant allele. However, since neither of her parents show the trait, they would both be homozygous recessive. This means that it is not possible for Rapunzel to have inherited the dominant allele because neither of her parents have one to pass on to her. The next mode of inheritance that is inconsistent with the chart is X-linked recessive. This time we are going to focus on Elsa. Since Elsa is female, she has two X chromosomes. To show the trait, each of her X chromosomes would have to have a copy of the recessive allele. It is possible for her to get one copy of the recessive allele from her mother, but since her father only has one X chromosome and he does not have the trait, he would only be able to pass down a dominant allele. If Elsa got the recessive allele from her mother's X chromosome and a dominant allele from her father's X chromosome, she would not show the trait, making this mode of inheritance not possible. X-linked dominant is also not consistent with this scenario. For this one, we will be going back to Rapunzel. For her to have magic powers, she would have to inherit at least one copy of the dominant allele on an X chromosome from one of her parents. Since neither of her parents show the trait, they would only have recessive alleles on their X chromosomes, so Rapunzel would only inherit recessive alleles and would not have magic powers. The final mode of inheritance that does not work in this scenario is Y-linked. For Y-linked traits, the individual must have a Y chromosome, which would make them male. All of the people who show the trait are female and did not inherit a Y chromosome. This makes this mode of inheritance inconsistent with the chart, meaning autosomal recessive is the only one out of 5 inheritance patterns that is plausible in this situation.